age and is actually 18. I'm shocked and I don't know if I can proceed with this relationship. Long story short, I was using Hinge and I sent her a comment since I saw from her profile that we had a lot in common. It said she was 21, goes to a nearby college, etc. She even confirmed that with me, telling me a birthday that would say that she's 21. We matched in the fall of 2020 and have been dating since November to now. Well, it wasn't until our most recent date where at this time I asked if she wanted to get drinks and she tells me that she can't. Obviously, drinking age is 21 and up, and she said she wanted to tell me for a while, but she was using the dating apps while in high school. So at 15, she put that her age was 18 and never deleted it. She said that she just forgot about it, and I know that people use dating apps when they're a year or two younger, but for months she kept it a secret. She was my first girlfriend and meant a lot to me. She gave me space because she said that she knows it's a lot to take in. The thing is, I don't know if I can move past this, and I feel weird dating someone way younger than me. She says she loves me and that we can make this work, but is that even possible? If I knew her true age at the time that I messaged her, even if we had all this in common or got along well, I still wouldn't have dated her. I'm 25 and I want to be able to have a future and significant other who I can share that life with, but she's not on the same level of finances and life that I am. And she probably won't be for a few years if I do stick it out. What should I do? In 2019, I got into a car accident and injured my left leg severely. My ex-girlfriend was the one driving and was the one responsible for the accident because she was fighting and yelling at me in the car over a minor issue. I advised her to either stop fighting or stop driving, but she was reckless and didn't care that she was risking not only my life, but hers as well. I suffered for months because of my leg. I had a severe infection resulting in amputation and had to use assisted tools to be able to move. My ex-girlfriend became distant and my parents were my main carers. Her treatment towards me took a 180 turn. Suddenly, I wasn't good enough for her anymore, and at some point, she started comparing me to other fully functional guys, claiming I wasn't the problem. It's her low self-esteem, and she was required to look for a partner with a better look, financial stability, and so on. She made my trauma all about her and how being with a guy with one leg affected her self-esteem. She broke things off with me, and our relationship was supposed to end that day, but I foolishly spent months and months begging and convincing her that we were meant to be together. I even promised her that I'd do all I can to be able to walk again, and reminded her of the plans we had together, and I hated myself for it. My self-esteem was almost non-existent. I was dealing with PTSD on top of that. I fucked up and resorted to medication to ease the pain. Therapy was on and off for me because I'd get extremely agitated at the mention of my ex-girlfriend. I was so stupid thinking she was my one and only, and it got worse when I became convinced that no one will accept me and my disability since it's the reason my relationship with my ex-girlfriend ended. My parents helped us so much. They and a few friends supported me to get through this after seeing my overall health decline. In the past 6 months, I was given the opportunity to be able to walk again after getting my prosthetic leg. It was long overdue, but money was the main problem. I'm a lot better now. My health is getting better, my mental health improved, and gained more self-confidence. My ex-girlfriend reached out to one of my friends wanting to talk to me about getting the prosthesis and bettering my health. My friend was like a messenger between us, but I kept her in the dark so that she knows nothing more than what my friend knows. I made it clear that I have no intentions to speak to her or discuss my health with her. My friend was respectful and stopped speaking to her about me. She visited my mom last week and left her number with her expecting me to call. My mom told me that my ex was out of town and was low contact with everyone and couldn't check in on me despite wanting to. She said I've never left her mind and that she was feeling happy and excited for my experience with my new prosthesis. Right now, she's waiting for me to call so we can get together and talk, but I didn't feel comfortable with the idea. I gotta say, I felt nostalgic and wanted to call her number a few times, but part of me prevented me from doing so. It's been a week and I didn't call her. I'm not sure if I still have feelings for her. My family said that I should talk to her. After all, we've known each other for 7 years. It's clear that she wants to connect, but I just don't think this is what I want. How should I deal with this pressure?
Am I the asshole for telling a man that I didn't consent to seeing his nips? I'm 26 female and a new mom, so I'm pretty exhausted all the time. I get barely any sleep, and honestly my body is just so tired. A couple days ago, one of my friends, 26 female, called me and my baby to go out, so I thought it'd be nice to take a nice day trip since I haven't done it in so long. She also invited her boyfriend and one of his friends. We spent the day downtown and ate lunch in a nice restaurant. It was fun until my baby got fussy, so I decided to feed her. We were at a park area, so I sat down on a faraway bench and started feeding. I had everyone's bags. Her friend's boyfriend came to grab something, and when he saw me breastfeeding, he got so pissed. He demanded I stop feeding because he didn't consent to seeing my nips. I apologized, but he kept insulting me and getting louder. I ended up going back home and left. My friend threw a get-together and he was there. When he saw me, he rolled his eyes and said, "Oh, not you again." The party was fun, but he was rude to me the whole time. There was an arm wrestling match and he lost, and before the next one, he ripped his shirt off. I was grossed out and he saw my face and asked what crawled up your ass. I got mad and responded, "Please put your shirt back on. I didn't consent to seeing your nips." He said it doesn't work that way because I'm a guy. We argued and he called me a B-word, crazy feminist, and an uptight asshole.
Am I wrong for telling my sister-in-law no one cares that she's pregnant? My cousin, 33 female, who I'll call Mary, lost her husband, 32 male, and 2 of her 3 children, 3 female and 9-month-old male, in a car accident last week. Her and her daughter, 5, are as you would expect, and it's just heartbreaking. Well, today was the funeral, and my brother's wife announced her pregnancy the second they arrived at our house this morning, and we were like, okay, congratulations, but please keep it on the down low for today. Well, when we arrived at the church, she kept making gagging sounds and rubbing her stomach, saying, I, as a mom, can't imagine what she's going through. They have no kids, so people would look at her and she'd tell them she was pregnant. Afterwards, at my aunt's house, my sister-in-law kept making everything about her. Like, someone was in the bathroom and my sister-in-law would loudly say, pregnant lady needs to pee. She literally told my cousin to give her her seat so the lady with the baby could rest her feet. I ignored her until she came to Mary, stuck out her flat belly and said, me and Isaac just found out I was pregnant, and honestly, we are beside ourselves. It could happen to us. Mary broke down crying. I snapped. Who says that to a woman who just literally lost 2 babies? I said loudly to my sister-in-law, no one gives an F you're pregnant. Look around. It's not just 1, but 2 babies' funerals, not to mention the love of Mary's life. Like, I knew you were an attention seeker, but for fuck's sake, you took the test 4 days ago. Just leave. She did leave in tears, and my brother called me a fat, bitter bitch. I've gotten phone calls from my brother and my sister-in-law's family calling me the world of names because I made a pregnant woman cry. Mary and my aunt thanked me, but if I'm being honest, I feel bad about causing a scene. So please put me in my place if I'm wrong. Her husband, your brother should have pulled her aside and be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Shut the fuck up. But if he don't do it, you can do it. So, little update. I found out this morning that my brother and my sister-in-law harassed my cousin with phone calls for her to talk to me about yesterday. My aunt gave both of them an earful and then made my cousin turn off her phone. My brother and my sister-in-law were at my parents' house trying to get their side in when I arrived. They both came at me screaming and yelling about my sister-in-law's feelings, and she couldn't miscarry from the stress I caused her. Sister-in-law said if I didn't lose my attitude and apologize, I'd never be in their child's life. I told her I didn't care, and if she was going to use the kid as a weapon, I didn't want to be in their life anyway. Things got heated, and my father ended up kicking out my brother and my sister-in-law. So yeah, all this drama at a time, we should be there for one another.
Am I the asshole for upsetting my pregnant wife and causing her to cry? My wife is 2 months pregnant, and yesterday was my birthday. When I went into the kitchen, my wife told me she was going to work and wouldn't be home until late. She didn't even acknowledge my birthday. I asked her if she made any breakfast because she usually cooks for me on my birthday, and she told me to manage with cereal. I thought maybe she wanted to surprise me or something and just keep quiet. I cooked lunch for both of us and drove to my wife's office to spend time with her. I sat in the park waiting for her to come out for lunch. One of her colleagues saw me waiting and informed her. She came down and told me to go home and not embarrass her in front of her colleagues. I asked her to eat the food I cooked, but she threw it in the trash. I handed her the lunch and asked her to at least have it instead of the cafeteria food. She took it and threw it into the trash. I was hurt and embarrassed, so I immediately left for home. I was upset by then and no longer wanted to spend any time with her. I went to a movie, ate my favorite dinner, and then went to the beach for the rest of the evening. When I got home, my wife surprised me with a cake and a party. My in-laws and parents were there. I ignored my wife and then went back into the room. My mom got mad at me because my wife was crying. I then narrated everything that happened that day to everyone present. My mom's the only one on her side. My wife said her colleagues were teasing her, calling me a pen-necked husband.
Story time on how I lied to my boyfriend about being the father of my child. Okay, so boom, let's get right into it. So I have a boyfriend who's the love of my life, and I'm literally obsessed with him. I want to be with him forever. We've been together for 2 years, but unfortunately, my boyfriend ended up breaking my trust. You see, my boyfriend cheated on me with my best friend, and I found out that they've been sleeping with each other for the past year. Once I found out, my boyfriend begged and begged and begged for me to stay, and he cut all ties with my friend, telling me he doesn't want to lose me. I was so hurt, but because I loved him so much, I forgave him. But my forgiveness came with a price. I ended up having a one-night stand with his best friend. I wanted revenge, and I was being spiteful and just doing the whole tit-for-tat thing. But little did I know what was to come. Okay, so boom, like I said, after I found out that my boyfriend cheated on me with my best friend for over a year, I ended up having a one-night stand with his best friend because I wanted revenge. I was being spiteful and doing tit-for-tat. I felt horrible about it, and me and his best